Today I had a very interesting conversation with somebody while I was walking my dog. It was very random. I woke up at 8 in the morning. I was like, let me get this up out the way. I like to start my day early. I was tired, but I'm like, yeah, let me just get out the bed and get to it. And I was walking my dog to the school. It's like a school in my neighborhood. And I'm pull up over there. I'm bumping some new music. I'm chilling. It's a little cold outside, but we straight. And as I was doing that, another bull comes up and he was walking his dog. And I'm like, okay. Usually me, I don't really like to talk to people like that, but the dog ran up to me, so it put me in one of them unskippable cutscenes I be talking about. But needless to say, he comes over to try to get his dog off of me, and he was talking to me like he almost knew me. You know what I'm saying? It was kind of like a very strange occurrence, kind of like I've known bro all my life, but this is the first time I met him. You know what I'm saying? Like, we was really just talking, kicking it, and one of the things we talked about was how you need to keep learning. The reason for that is if you never stop learning or you dedicate your life to keep learning, you will always keep improving. And that's always been a big thing for me. You know what I mean? I'm a bit of a nerd. I like to look at my life as like an anime or a video game just because that's the stuff I watch. And it's quite entertaining to see life that way. Just constantly leveling up, looking at yourself from season 1 to the final season and just looking at how far you've come. And in my mind, I've always seen myself as that person who gets things done, someone that could be relied upon, somebody that is very resourceful, reliable, inspirational. You know, I always just try to be that way. So the concept of learning and having a infinite wealth of knowledge to draw from, it sounds very appealing. So like I said, learning is very important. But what is the main way in which we learn? Through experience. As kids, you first learned how to walk by observing your parents, maybe. Learning in school. How did you learn all the subjects that you know now? Through school. How did you learn all the skills you know now? Probably by seeing somebody else do that. But the main thing about it is, right, you tried over and over again until you were good at that thing. And that's a very important distinction to make. It's not in the pursuit of learning that we really learn just by trying to learn, trying to succeed at it. It's really through the failures. The failures are the part where we fall down. We look at what we need to do next to get up and keep improving. We fix this right there, maybe tweak that joint right there. And then after many fails, you finally get something down. And that is a very beautiful thing. Who would think? The thing that we try to fear the most, which is failure, rejection, all of those things that we perceive to be bad, it is in those things that we actually come out on top and be the person that we always wanted to be regardless. The reason I bring it all up is, like I said, I built a version of myself in my mind where I am very good at everything that I do. Now, you can call me very conceited in that regard, but if you meet me, I'm quite the different person because behind closed doors, I feel like that bull. I ain't gonna lie. I feel like the protagonist. I feel like the bull who just, you know what I'm saying? I'm untouchable. None of y'all niggas could touch me. I feel like Sung Jin Woo in that joint. But when I actually get outside and I try to interact with people, that joint don't quite go so well. I kind of get down on myself. I'm like, yo, do I really think I am who I really am? And typically in situations like that, where you have a clash of what you believe and what reality is, you can go one of two ways. You can turn your blind eye to the fact that you're trash and, you know what I'm saying, just never do that thing again. Or you can accept that reality is what it is. You stand where you do and you can keep improving by failing over and over again to get good at that thing that you want to get good at. It's, you know, quite simple, but we often overlook it for one simple reason. And that's ego. The fact that I look at myself in that way, that I am great at everything that I do, that I never fail, is because of my ego. That's the thing that I'm trying to protect the most. Why? I guess because it makes me feel good about myself, you know what I'm saying? We'll probably get into that discussion at a later date, but I just know that I like to look at myself in a good light. It makes me feel good, and perhaps it makes me feel better than others. You know what I mean? We're not even going to talk about that either. That's another discussion for a different day. But the main idea of it is, it makes me feel good about myself. So I hold that perception of myself in my head naturally, probably due to the past experiences that I've had, but mainly because it feels good. I would like for us to stick on that point. So obviously, when something makes you feel good, you want to keep repeating that thing over and over and over again. And in my case, thinking that I'm really just the person that never fails. I always succeed first try. I need to keep that story going. I need to convince myself every day that that is still the case, or I feel like my whole identity is going to fall apart. So in the pursuit of actually growing, that contradicts, at least with my perception of myself, probably with a lot of people's perceptions of themselves, because in life, things aren't going to always go how you plan them to go. Sometimes the way you think you would perform, you don't end up actually doing that. You end up trash. You know what I'm saying? And you really just got to accept that. You feel these emotions, you feel those thoughts, or not feel those thoughts. You hear those thoughts telling you, yo, this is dangerous. You hear those negative thoughts trying to drag you back into the darkness, trying to keep you closed-minded. And what really happens when we have those thoughts? We have those negative emotions. When we don't quite fit up to the standard that we hold in our heads, we often withdraw. Those things that expose us for being frauds, we don't do them. And oftentimes, those be the things, the situations that would make us grow. I'll bring it to me for an example. You know, I always talk about girls on this channel is definitely a mainstay by this point, but I've been battling a lot with the idea of, should I wait for girls to come to me or should I go to them? Because I like to think that I know how to talk to girls. I still do get nervous, and that's not something that I'm necessarily proud of, because when I go over there and I don't got nothing to say and I start stuttering and shaking like a stripper, it's not exactly the best when I'm comparing it to who I think I am, thinking that I'm very good at that thing already. But the thing about it is, it's just a dichotomy waiting to happen. Unless you do it more, you'll never get good at it. But if I, you know what I'm saying, do it and it doesn't quite fit up to the standard that I hold, that I'm just such a ladies man, things go awry and I start to lose myself in the midst of it all. I'm gonna whip out a recent quote that I came up with. It's not that you lose yourself, you're just really discovering who you were always meant to be. This current version of yourself, you like to tell yourself that you ideal already, that you're that bull already, but that might not be the case. You might have to sacrifice that ego, see yourself for who you really are, go through the dirty work that is necessary for you to eventually grow into that person. And then when you look in the mirror, you can actually look at yourself without feeling like you lying, without feeling like you just gaslighted yourself, without doing all the work necessary to really become bull. You know what I'm saying? I'm that bull. When I be seeing girls, the first thing I think about is, yo, what do I need to say to them? I need the perfect thing to say. But the thing about it is, you already know nothing in life is perfect, so I like to lead with simple things, as anybody does, right? The first thing that comes to mind is just you're not going to be Casanova in that joint just off rip, just by looking at the joint. Sometimes a good thing to start with is hi, hello, you look good today. How was your day? Anything of that sort. But when I see that, I'm like, no, that's a little basic. I don't even want to go there. I want to come up with the perfect line, you know what I'm saying? And by that point, the perfect opportunity, which I thought I had, which also never exists, it already passed up because I was too busy thinking about the perfect thing to say. So I like to say, right, that it is ideal for the person that you are choosing to choose you as well, which is to say, you would like for a girl that you're pursuing to show you signs of interest as well. Maybe that's looking at you, talking to you a lot, being in your personal space. People as humans, we like to be very sure of the fact that our risk is gonna pay off. We just like to have the idea that things are gonna happen for sure, because certainty is safeness, uncertainty is danger. I guess what I'm trying to say is, when you see a girl that you're interested in pursuing and she's not showing you any signs of interest, at least my brain, it starts sending me danger signals. It's like, yo bro, if you say anything to this girl right now, she gonna reject you so quick, cuz like, don't even do it. So then I start convincing myself, low-key gaslighting myself, low-key coping, saying, hey bro, that attraction, the perfect opportunity, in an ideal world, the girl that you want wants you just as much. So you looking at her, she should be looking at you the exact same way. She should throw herself in your arms before you even have to say anything to her. You know what I mean? And once again, I feel like that is to protect my ego, because if I approach a girl and she doesn't like me at all, it hurts. It really messes with that image of myself that I hold so dearly in my head. Me thinking that I'm an attractive, suave, charismatic bull. You know what I'm saying? I'm him. When a girl rejects you, it's very hard to keep thinking that you're him in the face of that, right? But the thing about it is, I don't really need to have those girls thinking that I'm him if I already believe it for myself. And why would I believe it for myself? Unless I really have the proof to back it up. You have to redefine what really matters to you. If I prioritize being liked by every person or never being seen in a vulnerable light, it will stop me from growing at all. Let's say you take pride in being the person that doesn't get rejected. It's very impossible for you not to get rejected if you're asking girls out. So we got to throw that off the table. In substitute, you might say, all right, I just won't approach girls then. That way I can't get rejected, right? Which is true, but like, come on, cuz you're not even playing the game. That's like saying, yo, how can I lose the game if I never decided to start the game to begin with? Like, you know what I'm saying? You low-key look like a stupid idiot saying that. At the end of the day, a lot of what we feel like we desire, it comes from external validation. Me being seen as the person who never gets rejected, me being seen as the person who always has the right thing to say, me being seen as that attractive man, it all comes from wanting to be accepted by people. It all comes from external love, external validation. But that is only necessary when you don't have that internal love, to the point where you going up and talking to that girl you wanted to talk to just because you wanted to speak to her, it wouldn't affect you regardless, because your set of principles is now different. You're not looking for that love out there because you already have it here. So then once you do that, you can really start to ask yourself, what do you really value? And for me, what I value is speaking my mind, being true to myself. One of the examples of that would be to talk to that girl, no matter who she is, no matter if it's in the gym, no matter if she a mother of children, you know what I'm saying, no matter if she in her 40s. If she look good, I'ma speak to her, and it don't matter how it's gonna go. It don't matter who's around to see me fail or pass, because you never know what's gonna happen. All I know is in that moment I wanted to speak to her, so I'm going to speak to her. And you might say, well, Chris, how can you stand on that principle if you only wait for the girls to come to you? It's a good question. The answer is I can't. In an ideal world, I am gonna be that bull who just goes after any girl he wants. He doesn't think too hard about it. He just tries to make a connection. Instead of trying to win her over, just stand on the principle of you go for what you want. And you did that. No matter how it may look, at the end of the day, you can be proud of yourself because you did what you did. And even if you fail, the worst case scenario is you stay the same or you get better. You can stay the same by choosing not to do it, or you can improve by dusting yourself off and trying again. It's a tale as old as time. Keep talking to more women, keep having experiences with random people, keep socializing, go to places where women frequent, you know what I'm saying, bad joints, wherever that may be, you know what I'm saying, the club, I don't know where you go, bro, but wherever you see them bad joints, go over there, talk to the girls, don't make it too like thirsty, just like try to connect. And in that regard, you will pick up on certain cues, your body will automatically store things for you to say, you might enter flow state. You know, have the perfect thing to say. It doesn't really exist, but having the confidence behind what you say, I feel like that is what's really important. And the only way to get that true confidence is for you to go over there and do the experience again and again. But at the end of the day, if you have that ego that you're trying to protect so hard, you will never surrender yourself to experience, which is the best teacher in this life. Another thing I will say, right? A career path. It's not that I don't want to go through it and do the hard work. I just don't want to be seen as bad at it. I feel like to a degree, that's a lot of the reason why I don't try to pursue certain career paths. I know it's going to be hard at the end of the day. And now there also is, you know what I'm saying, the fact that I would have to pay for it, because what I'm looking at is like a trade. So I'm not afraid to start. I am afraid to pay out of pocket though. Them joints be expensive, don't they? So that's why I'm currently looking for an apprenticeship to try something like that. But I guess you can say that I'm afraid of feeling bad about it when I'm doing it. If I suck at it at first, can I really stick through with it? If I know I'm going to get better, for sure. But if I'm so caught up in the moment of feeling bad at something to the point where I ignored the most fundamental law of life, which is keep trying something and eventually you will succeed at it, you will get better, you will grow as long as you show up and give it your best effort, then yeah, I'm gonna stay stuck where I'm at. But if I don't, and I allow myself to be trash, I allow myself to be seen as being trash, which is the main thing, to sacrifice my ego, eventually I will get good at that thing. It doesn't happen on day one a lot of the time. If you're not naturally talented at it, it's not gonna happen at day one most of the time. But eventually you will get pretty good at that thing that you want to get good at. All because you tried, all because you were vulnerable enough to be seen failing, all because you were vulnerable enough to show up as who you really were and change and evolve into a truer version of yourself that more so aligned with that perfect version of yourself in your head. There's nothing wrong with thinking highly of yourself as long as you put in the work to do that thing and not be a fraud about it. Nothing wrong with it. And now the final thing, which is the most core thing, I feel, is just me speaking up to other people. Because I'm an awkward person at heart. I'm an introverted person at heart. So being seen in the light of not having the right thing to say, like I'm trying to have a normal conversation with somebody and I don't know, I glitch or I lag or something. I was trying to talk to this one person in the gym one time. This was my man's. I've seen him plenty of times. And my boy was looking a little swole. So I said, hey, bro, let me pay him a compliment real quick. But I literally lagged in real life. I'm over here out of breath, mind you. It sounded like I was out of breath. I don't know if I was, but we gonna go with that because it'll make me look a little better. But I was trying to talk to him and I was trying to say, yo, bro, I really see them muscles shining through. But I came up to him and I was like, yo, bro, I really So he kind of sensed the vibe. He was like, what is cut on? Is he glitching? Is he lagging? I don't really like this, so I'm gonna go bounce. And that was a very awkward experience for me. I don't really want to experience that again. And I feel like somewhere along the line, I've convinced myself that I just like being by myself, which is true to a degree, because you have the argument of nature versus nurture, which is, does your environment shape your personality or do your genetics? And I feel like it's a mix of both. You have a base nature at birth, and your environment can sway how potent it really is in your life. But I'm an introverted person to the max for sure. When someone's trying to talk to me when I genuinely don't want to talk, it makes me mad. But when I'm just chilling around you and I just don't have anything in my mind that I want to say, I'll convince myself, oh yeah, I'm just introverted. That's what that means. It's not because I don't got nothing to say because I'm weird or awkward that I'm not trying to talk to this person. I'm just better off on my own. You know what I'm saying? Popular loner. Like, yeah, was that what Youngboy said? NBA Youngboy? I feel like it might have been, but who knows? But yes, a lot of the time when I'm at work, for example, my coworkers, granted, I don't really feel like I have anything to talk about with them. Like I could, but I like to stay to myself, at least at work, get the work done, and then maybe we could talk after. But when there needs to be work done and you're trying to talk to me during that and you did a bad job, like if my work is cleaning up your bad work, I already don't like you, you know what I'm saying? So in that context, it makes sense for me to kind of try to stay to myself, get the work done. But even after the work is said and done, I just feel, you know what I mean? It's just awkward. Like I have nothing to say to my coworkers a lot of the time. And it's all because I just don't want to be seen as weird. I don't want to be seen as awkward. I don't want to be seen as human, which is relatable, but it's holding me back once again. You never get to where you want to be by just thinking your way there or having blind optimism. You have to really go through that thing. So in that case, with a coworker that I'm not necessarily close with or a coworker that I'm not all that familiar with, a simple, so how is your day going? That goes a long way. A simple, man, these customers annoying, right? Or something like that. It goes a long way. But I just don't want to be seen as trying to grow, because the act of trying to do something, it kind of unconsciously admits that you're bad at that thing. And I don't want to admit to anybody that I'm anything less than perfect, because why would I? You know what I'm saying? I'm him. But it just doesn't make sense. It does nothing but hold me in place. And I feel like that is the thing that I fear most in life, even more so than being seen as being bad at something. I fear stagnation. I fear going through the motions. I fear staying stuck in the infinite Tsukuyomi, or the Izanagi, if you will. Shout out to the Naruto fans, of just going through the same thing over and over and over again. It frightens me to my core. I'm gonna end the video on this. Which one would I rather have? The idea that I was seen trying, I failed, I shot past that failure, perhaps failed again, stumbled, you know what I'm saying, trying to get back up, slipped on whatever was there, broke my face, broke my nose on the ground, came back up, still not giving up. I get back up, I start full sprinting to the finish line. All of a sudden, who knows how long it's gonna take, but now I'm good at that thing I wanted to be good at. Now, I don't have my ego anymore. I still do have my ego, but I relinquished it, put it to the side for the sake of improvement, for the sake of growth, for the sake of progressing the plot. Would I rather progress the plot and go through the things necessary to do so? Or would I rather live in a fantasy world because I don't want to be seen as who I really am? Would I rather stay stuck that way just because I don't want anybody to see me for who I really am? I don't want to be vulnerable. Y'all tell me. Peace.